Everyone knows Robert Downey Jr., the charismatic actor whose name is now synonymous with blockbuster success and unforgettable characters. He's the face of Tony Stark, the genius billionaire in Iron Man, and the brilliant detective Sherlock Holmes, roles that have defined a generation of cinema. His comeback is legendary, a story told in headlines and interviews, but few truly know the real force behind his transformation. Wing Chun, an ancient Chinese martial art rooted in discipline and self-mastery. For Robert, Wing Chun became much more than a hobby. It was a lifeline, an anchor that steadied him through the storms of addiction, fame, and personal chaos. Away from the cameras and the spotlight, he rebuilt himself on the training mat, learning to channel his restless energy, sharpen his focus, and find a sense of clarity that had long eluded him. This journey wasn't about fighting others, it was about fighting for his own life, with unwavering discipline, purpose, and a commitment to personal growth. The structured movements and deep philosophy of Wing Chun gave him a framework to rebuild not just his body, but also his mind and spirit, piece by piece. Through every stance and every form, he learned to focus his scattered energy into something powerful, creative, and ultimately transformative. Before he ever donned Iron Man's iconic armor, he was forging a different kind of strength, resilience, focus, and a deep self-understanding that would become his true shield. The principles he learned in Wing Chun became essential tools, helping him navigate the pressures of fame, the temptations of Hollywood, and the challenges of his own mind. His story isn't just about getting a second chance, it's about forging one with his own hands, using the discipline and philosophy of Wing Chun as his foundation for a new life. This is the untold chapter of Robert Downey Jr.'s incredible journey, a story of transformation, resilience, and the quiet power of martial arts. The early 2000s marked a profound turning point for Robert Downey Jr. His life was in turmoil, and the world watched as he struggled to find his footing. The glare of the spotlight only made his personal battles more public, and the pressure to recover felt overwhelming. His once promising career had been derailed by addiction, and every headline seemed to remind him of what he'd lost. The weight of regret and disappointment was heavy, and the path forward was anything but clear. He realized he needed more than just another rehab program or a temporary fix. He needed a completely new way to live, a foundation to rebuild himself from the inside out. In 2003 he discovered Wing Chun, a centuries-old martial art. He wasn't searching for a way to win fights or prove himself physically. Instead, he was looking for a way to win the battle within, to find peace and discipline in the chaos. That's when he came to me, Oram, seeking not just martial arts instruction but stability and a sense of purpose through Kung Fu. He was searching for something to anchor him. Many people doubted his commitment, thinking it was just another phase or a celebrity's passing interest. But Robert was different this time. He was ready for real, lasting change, no matter how hard it would be. Wing Chun isn't a quick fix or a shortcut to success. It's a demanding, lifelong practice that requires patience, humility, and relentless effort. Every session was a test of his resolve. He embraced the discipline, building a daily routine and connecting with a philosophy that offered hope and structure. The practice became a form of moving meditation, helping him quiet his mind and focus on the present. The early days of training were about small, consistent steps, showing up, being present, and learning humility. Each repetition was a reminder that progress is built one day at a time. Wing Chun's core principles, simplicity, directness, and efficiency, stood in stark contrast to the chaos and complexity of his past. The art demanded focus and honesty, both with himself and with others. He learned to redirect energy, not just in martial arts but in life itself, turning obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. The practice gave him a sense of control and accomplishment, slowly rebuilding his self-respect and confidence with every milestone reached. It was a tangible way to prove to himself that he could stick with something hard, that he could change, and that he was capable of growth. This was the true beginning of his transformation, not in the glitz of Hollywood but in the quiet, focused atmosphere of a humble dojo, far from the cameras and crowds. The repetitive motions of this ancient art became the building blocks of a new life, each movement a step toward healing and self-mastery. For Robert, Wing Chun became more than just a martial art. It became his path to recovery, renewal, and a second chance at life. When Robert first entered my studio, I'll admit I was skeptical. Hollywood is full of fleeting interests and people looking for quick fixes. Many come and go, chasing the next trend or role, but few truly commit to the journey of martial arts. I'd seen it before. Actors hoping to pick up a few moves for a film, but rarely sticking around once the camera stopped rolling. But industry friends vouched for him, insisting he was different. From the very first day, Robert proved his dedication. He showed up early, listened intently, and never shied away from hard work. It was clear he wasn't just here for show, he was here to learn, to grow, and to challenge himself. I made it clear, Wing Chun isn't something you dabble in. It demands unwavering commitment, patience, and humility. Robert understood this immediately. He respected the tradition and the discipline required, never asking for shortcuts or special treatment. He trained relentlessly, sometimes daily, pouring himself into the art. Even on days when he was exhausted from filming or life's pressures, he'd show up, ready to give his all. That kind of consistency is rare, especially in this industry. Wing Chun isn't about brute force, it's about precision, structure, and focus. Every movement is intentional, every technique refined through repetition. It's a practice that sharpens both body and mind, demanding presence in every moment. Robert's shotgun mind, always firing in 100 directions, learned to channel that energy into laser-like discipline. Through meditation, breathwork, and focused drills, he discovered how to quiet the noise and find clarity in movement. Our sessions became a constant in his life, a grounding force amid the chaos of fame. Over time, we built a foundation of trust and mutual respect, both inside and outside the studio. He wasn't just a celebrity passing through, he became a true martial artist, genuinely seeking self-improvement. He approached every lesson with humility, always eager to learn and grow. The core lesson of Wing Chun is simple but profound. Don't fight force with force. Instead, learn to redirect it, to use your opponent's energy to your advantage. This principle applies far beyond the dojo. Robert spent years internalizing this lesson both physically and philosophically. It wasn't an overnight transformation, it was a gradual process, shaped by countless hours of practice and reflection. The Sifu-student bond is about more than just learning moves. It's about mentorship, guidance, and helping each other grow as people. We shared conversations about life, discipline, and overcoming obstacles. He applied Wing Chun's lessons to every challenge, on and off the mat. Whether facing personal struggles or professional setbacks, he drew on the discipline and focus he'd cultivated through training. The focus and discipline he developed became the backbone of his sobriety and career. Martial arts gave him a structure to lean on, a way to rebuild himself from the inside out. He wasn't just learning martial arts, he was forging a new self, discovering strength and resilience he never knew he had. The discipline of Wing Chun became the discipline of his life, shaping his choices, his mindset, and his future. That's how he transformed, one practice at a time, one lesson at a time, until discipline became second nature. For Robert, Wing Chun became a spiritual practice, a path to self-mastery, not just self-defense. The training mat was his sanctuary, a place to confront weakness and build inner strength. The art's precision and focus acted as meditation, clearing mental clutter. Wing Chun's core idea, maintain your center, became his guiding philosophy. He learned to protect his personal center, sobriety, family, and well-being. This awareness kept him grounded even as fame returned. The less self-conscious you are, the better Wing Chun works, instinct over hesitation. Thousands of repetitions made movement second nature, impacting his acting and life. He learned to trust his instincts and perform with authenticity. Wing Chun is a lifelong journey. Robert continues to train, always refining. The practice isn't about a final goal, but daily commitment to being better. That's the essence of spiritual warriordom, the quiet, consistent fight for a better self. When Robert returned to the spotlight, he brought Wing Chun with him. It became part of his art, especially in Sherlock Holmes and Iron Man. As his Sifu, I helped design fight scenes rooted in real martial arts, not just spectacle. Sherlock Holmes's fighting style reflected his analytical mind, predicting moves, efficient strikes, pure Wing Chun. For Tony Stark, the influence was subtle, logic, geometry, and efficiency in every movement. Even out of the suit, Stark's hand-to-hand combat was grounded in Wing Chun. This gave his characters a unique, authentic physical language. The action wasn't just cool, it was personal and intelligent. Robert's years of training showed in every move, adding depth and credibility. Wing Chun made his performances stand out, blending mind and body on screen. What sets Robert's action scenes apart is their authenticity. He does most of his own fight choreography. Years of practice let him bring real martial arts to superhero worlds. His commitment adds realism, even in the most fantastical settings. In films like Civil War and Infinity War, his Wing Chun skills shine, fluid, convincing and precise. Fans recognize the genuine techniques, straight punches, trapping hands, real structure. Of course, doing your own stunts has risks. He's faced injuries and learned to balance safety with authenticity. Still, the core fight performance is always his own. This dedication raised the bar for action in Hollywood. Robert proved that martial arts training isn't just for a role, it becomes part of you. His unique style fused acting talent with martial discipline, creating a true on-screen warrior. Robert Downey Jr.'s story is one of transformation, with Wing Chun as the catalyst. The discipline he built through years of practice reshaped his life and career. Training gave him structure, resilience, and the strength to rise after every fall. The principles of martial arts, focus, patience, and redirection became principles for living. He applied these lessons everywhere, making Wing Chun part of his identity. Discipline created freedom, unlocking his creative and professional potential. He became known for dedication, not just talent. From cautionary tale to inspiration, he proved it's never too late to change. His legacy isn't just in films, but in personal reinvention. The real armor he built was inner strength, forged through martial arts. That's the secret foundation of his extraordinary second act. Robert Downey Jr.'s journey shows the quiet power of consistent effort and discipline.